Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Your eyes do not deceive you. That is, we're just testing out your computers.
Yeah.
We're just testing out your computers at home, making sure that everything.
You all need new graphics cards.
Yes, this is your fault,
Yes.
not ours at all. Eventually, it will say Wulff Den Podcast.
Yeah.
And here we go. And any minute now. And
Hey, all right.
Hey,
all
buddy.
right. Hey,
How you
podcast,
doing?
Wulff Den Podcast.
Wulff Den Podcast. Woo! A little retro.
Yeah.
Little low
Low poly.
Wulff Den Podcast.
Yep.
How's it going? Hi.
Hey.
Wulff Den Podcast. Everything's good. Nothing to see here.
Yep. Regular ass show.
I forgot I'm wearing my Otacon glasses. They're so light. I didn't realize I had them.
Yep.
Welcome to the Wulff Den Podcast. So many things to say and do today, Will.
Yep. There sure is. It's a podcast episode. That's it. That's about it.
The main topic today, we're talking about VRR. Whoa. I bet everybody's so excited to hear
It's getting
about
hard
it.
because, like,
Terrible
you know,
refresh rate.
I think we're like 2 weeks away from the Switch 2 launch.
We are.
And, like, there's, like, a drip feed of, like, information that's slowly coming out, but, like, none of it's really that interesting.
No, and you know what? I had nothing to talk about this week for my main video, and I decided to do it on the Switch 2 discourse, and I'm so bored. I've honestly been having a really hard time writing the video because I'm just so not interested in the discourse right now. It's hard to make myself interested in it.
Were you able to? I mean, it might be too late.
I wrote a whole intro.
Okay, because I'm thinking, like, would this be, like, the time to just pivot and just do something that you want to do and be damned with what's, you know.
The problem is there's nothing.
Right.
I'm waiting. I'm sitting here waiting for the Lenovo Legion Go S.
Right.
I'm sitting here waiting for the Aya Neo, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
The 3, I think.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the 34XX SP, which I have no word if I'm getting one or not.
Well, that's what I mean.
And
like,
I'm waiting for the Switch 2.
While you're waiting for all this stuff, you still need to put something out.
Yeah. And I figured I'd be interested in the Switch 2 stuff, but
like, I don't know, find one of your dumb keyboards and talk about how cool it is.
I'm trying to
make keyboarding on a mechanical versus a chiclet style keyboard.
I'm trying to compile all of the rage bait tweets I've been seeing of the Switch 2 discourse, and I figured that would get me excited. But I also don't like I don't like drama videos, and it's kind of, you know, could be easily construed as that. So I don't know. Anyway, what are we? Who are you?
Okay.
So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about the variable refresh rate controversy.
Yes,
because they had it on the Switch 2. Now they don't have it on the Switch 2.
But they do have it on Switch 2, but with a catch.
No, they kind of have it on the Switch 2.
Yeah.
We also have to talk about the new MSI Claw. Wow, so exciting. We're back talking about Tim Sweeney.
Yes, my best friend, because he liked to tweet of mine that one time.
Fortnite news.
Yes.
And the Apple.
Yes, if you're commenting on it in the chat right now, we know we are getting to it. It's a whole story. Okay?
It's a whole arc.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, we got a new game for our online service.
Yes.
Can I do that? Is this gonna work?
All right, yeah. So available now.
Does that look fine?
On Switch Online Plus expansion pack for the Nintendo Ultra 64 Killer Instinct Gold.
I know at least one person who is extremely excited for this. Now, this is cool. I mean, more games the better. There aren't many there aren't many N64 games that are lauded by fighting game people. Lauded means good, right?
Yes.
There aren't many N64 games that fighting game people love.
Yeah.
This is one of them.
Yes. I don't know, however. Well, context. Killer Instinct was an arcade game made by Rare and Nintendo, and then they ported it to the Super Nintendo, which people generally like. This was supposed to be Killer Instinct 2 for the N64, but something went wrong, so instead they made Killer Instinct Gold. I don't know if people hold Killer Instinct Gold in a high of regard as like regular Killer Instinct.
I didn't even know there was a difference.
Fighting game fans like are very particular about their games,
Okay.
you know, because like to me, Street Fighter 4 and 5 are the same thing, but like to people who actually play Street Fighter like regularly, Street Fighter 5 is dog shit.
Okay.
So
is this,
that's what I mean. Like,
I mean, is this actually a different game, or is it just added stuff?
I think it's in up, like it's like an upgrade. It's like the Street Fighter to Super Street Fighter comparison.
Well, I think this is cool because we haven't seen this game in a while, but also because it's Nintendo Switch Online, so that means you can play online with other people.
Yes.
However, one person has to host the game. Oh, I didn't realize there was like a cutscene at the end of the trailer. One person has to host the game, so the other player will always have massive input lag.
Yes.
So that is a little disappointing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Hopefully they'll have some rejiggered net code or something.
Yeah.
That will smooth things out a little bit. But I doubt it.
Yeah. So for some history, this game came out in North America in 1996, November 1996. So that's the year the N64 launched. However,
my God.
Hey, it worked. So we know that the Nintendo 64, we all know what the first game for the Nintendo 64 was, right?
Yes.
Which is?
Super Mario 64.
Yes.
Okay.
And real ones out there know what the second game for the Nintendo 64 was.
Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
No.
Damn it.
Pilot Wing 64.
Damn it.
Infamously, the Nintendo 64 launched with only two games, Super Mario 64 and Pilot Wing 64.
Okay.
In North America, did you know? No, that's copyright. Game fact. There was a third game launched for the Nintendo 64 only in Japan. Saikyo Habu Shogi. That translates to Strongest Habu Shogi. A Japanese virtual board game for the Nintendo 64, released exclusively in Japan on June 23rd, 1996.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is gameplay. What a beautiful game.
Oh, marvelous game.
How do you play this game?
I have no idea. It was also the only game to launch. It was the only launch game to use a controller pack, the memory card in it. The other two used battery saves.
Wow. So 3 launch titles.
Yeah. But again, this only came out in Japan.
So if you're sitting at home bitching about the launch lineup of the Switch 2.
Exactly. Like, come on. You kids these days don't know how good you had it.
You don't know how good you have it. Back in my day, we had Saikyo Habu Shogi. And that's it. And we liked it.
And we didn't complain. Or we did complain because we didn't get this game because we're Americans. But anyway, sorry.
There's a game.
Yeah. Oh, you can do it too.
We both got the button.
We both have the power now.
Edward Bova says, I actually knew this one. I knew this fact. Spood says, were you aware? That's a good one.
That is a good one.
You like that one?
I'm gonna use that.
Were you aware? You have to cut to the one and go, were you aware? Yell it into the camera. Anyway.
Good times.
Oh, what a great episode this has been so far. I don't have my Streamlabs open. I'm opening.
Okay.
Give me a second. Relax yourselves. It was also supposed to launch with Shadows of the Empire, but it got delayed, right? It says Griffinix.
That did get delayed. I don't know if it was intended to be a launch title, though.
Thank you, Judah Hyder, for the 9 months. Play Subnautica. No, that does not seem like a game. I wouldn't be interested. Mr. Game and Tech, thank you for the 13 months. H3, thanks for gifting us up to Chris Mack. I just had Greek food.
Ooh,
Snake Eater, thanks for the 100 bits. 100 bits for 100 days until Delta Snake Eater release. I got so many games to play before.
Yeah. I'm trying to make my way through Star Wars Outlaws. I definitely want to play the game. I like the game a lot. It's just been hard to like sit down at the PS5.
Apparently, I never updated the stream title. Oopsies. What'd you say you gotta play?
Outlaws.
Outlaw.
Oh, is Outlaw.
That's not
I'm
bad.
genuinely enjoying it. I just have not had time to sit down at the PS5. I am playing Unpacking on my Steam Deck though. In the meantime, game rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hear. Wait, how did I get? Did
No,
you?
I bought it.
You
Yeah,
bought it?
I bought it. Yeah.
Oh,
So you should have it. Definitely
I
play
think
it.
Hannah. I think she went to play it,
Yeah.
and I think we're all in the same Steam family. So
Yeah.
it just appeared.
Yeah.
I really want to play through Death Stranding before Death Stranding.
Yeah.
2, so I got some work to do.
I really wanted to watch all the Mission Possibles before the new one comes out, but it's coming out on Friday, and I have not started. So
Wait, what's coming out Friday?
Mission Impossible.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so far behind. Anyway, news.
Yes.
Nintendo. This was kind of a big blow to me because I actually kind of really cared about variable refresh rate.
So should I start from like the beginning and then work my way up to?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because there's three
updates.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
All right.
Let's do the original story.
Okay. As highlighted by Digital Foundry's Oliver McKenzie on social media, variable refresh rate support for TV play is no longer mentioned with regards to the Switch 2 support. It's worth noting how other areas of the site in this region still reference VRR, and Nintendo's official tech support page also still lists VRR up to 120 hertz for the console's built-in screen. Now, the Nintendo 2 webpage in other regions like Europe still have the system also supports HDR, VRR, and frame rates up to 120 frames per second on compatible TVs. So the confusion therein is Nintendo is saying that the Switch 2 supports variable refresh rate, but they're not making it clear. Does that mean handheld mode only? TV mode only? Both?
Right. It's
not at all.
When was this? This must have been a while ago.
Yeah, April 17th.
Okay. Yeah, they were on the website. It originally said that it had VRR on TVs, but they removed that.
Yes. And then later that day, Digital Foundry's Oliver McKenzie noticed that the text had been removed from Nintendo's European sites. So Nintendo is scrubbing all mention of variable refresh rate from the world. Variable refresh rate does not exist. It never has.
Let's roll back a little bit.
Okay.
Variable refresh rate. I got a piece of chicken in my tooth and it just came out.
Greek chicken.
Hold on, allow me to enjoy this once again. Thank you. Variable refresh rate, if you don't know what that is let me collect. Variable refresh rate is VRR, which is when the frame rate of the game matches the refresh rate of the screen. So if you have a 60 hertz screen at home, variable refresh rate will make it so that the game is locked at 60 frames per second.
A dynamic display that can continuously and seamlessly change its refresh rate without user input.
Yes. So you might say to yourself, why wouldn't it just lock it to the frame rate that my screen is? Well, if the game can't reach that full 60 hertz that your screen is, it could lower down to like 50 or like 55.
Yeah.
And your screen will just match it. So this is really helpful for low-powered consoles that are playing high-powered games. Because if a game has a lower frame rate than it can target, it'll look less choppy if the screen can match the frame rate of the console.
Yeah.
So if it's targeting 60 frames per second and your screen is 60 hertz and it comes just short, maybe it gets to 40 or it gets to 55 and it's changing rapidly. It's not always hitting 50. Maybe it's hitting 49, maybe it's hitting 48, maybe it's hitting 55. The screen will always update to match it.
Right.
So variable refresh rate is pretty crucial to have a smooth gameplay experience on a low-powered console.
Yes.
And that game facts for you, baby. Woo! So variable refresh rate is in the main display, confirmed, definitely there.
Yes. Let me read Nintendo's statement.
Okay.
The Nintendo Switch 2 supports variable refresh rate in handheld mode only. The incorrect information was initially published on the Nintendo Switch 2 website, and we apologize for the error. On the topic of potential VRR support for docked mode coming in the future firmware update, Nintendo isn't denying the possibility, just saying we have nothing to announce at this time.
Yes. So variable refresh rate is definitely for sure in the handheld.
Yes.
Which is good because the handheld can get up to 120
Right.
frames per second. So, or 120 hertz. Most games not gonna hit 120 hertz ever.
Yeah.
A game that can go up to 120 hertz, like let's say
Prime 4.
Metroid Prime 4. I think Metroid Prime 4 might actually just stay at 120 like most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
A game like Mario Kart 9, Mario Kart World, can get a pretty high frame rate, but it's not gonna go that high. It'll be a little less. It'll be a little weird. It'll morph. So having variable refresh rate would really help. Like if you have 120 frames per second and then it goes down to like 90, then it goes down to like 60, then it goes back up to 90. Your screen will match it, and that's really helpful at those high frame rates. But if you plug it into a TV, you're losing that.
Yeah.
Most people don't have 120 hertz TVs.
Most people don't have TVs that support variable refresh rate, period.
Yeah. Most of these TVs that currently that can go up to 120 hertz, you're going to have some sort of variable refresh rate or something. But most people don't even have that. They don't even have the 120 hertz.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine most people would rather have 4K 60 than 1080 120. So this isn't really going to affect anybody except for the people watching this who are interested in high frame rate.
Yeah.
I'm personally interested in high frame rates. I play my stuff on a monitor, so I would rather have the high frame rate than the high resolution.
Right.
So I'm not too happy about this, but the potential reason why they can't have variable refresh rate, or why they thought they could and now they're not, is compatibility issues. But also, my understanding is that the Switch, when it's docked, it uses it's USB-C, but it's technically a display port, like adapter. That's what the dock is. It's like a display. It uses display port. The protocol is called MyDP, My Display Port. That's why it's like kind of proprietary, but it's not really. It's just a weird protocol. That's my understanding of it. And I think that has weird issues with variable refresh rate.
Yeah.
So it's like not reliable.
Well,
so I think it works, but it's not reliable enough to say in a spec sheet.
DisplayPort 2.1 A protocol has an optional adaptive sync feature, which is essentially DisplayPort protocol's VRR.
Okay.
So I'm guessing either they didn't implement that into it.
The DisplayPort protocol issue is one of the things that Digital Foundry said, that it's just not reliable.
Yeah.
I'm saying that the original Switch used MyDP, which is the name of the protocol.
Yeah.
This could all be fixed in a firmware update.
Yeah.
If they could figure it out.
Yeah.
It's possible they don't. It's possible 2 years from now they just enable it.
Yeah.
The end of this is that most people are not going to be affected at all and aren't going to really care. And their TVs aren't even going to be able to support it.
Because like Switch users are not power users. They're not playing it to have like the most powerful hardware. They're playing it for, of all the video game systems, they're playing it for convenience.
Yeah. There was a lot of talk online about whether or not when they removed variable refresh rate from the website, there was a lot of people wondering what that was all about.
Yeah.
And I was thinking it was because most people aren't going to even be able to utilize that, and maybe it's not as reliable as they thought it was, so they don't want to like put it out there that it's definitely going to support variable refresh rate. But I thought it was for sure going to be support variable refresh rate, because while I was at the stupid event, there games like Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour.
Yeah.
You have that game where you have to guess the frame rate.
Yeah.
So I assumed that game was just changing frame rate.
Yeah.
But really, that game is probably just running at 120 frames per second.
Yeah.
And then just giving you animations that are at a lower frame rate.
Yeah.
So it's all very confusing.
Yeah.
I don't like that we're losing a feature. But
no, but I mean, like, there's precedent for it. Sony stopped saying that the PS5 supports 8K, and Nintendo removed component support from the GameCube eventually. So,
but also Sony did not support 1440p for like 3 years,
and then they patched it in.
Yeah, and the dock does receive updates. The Switch 1 dock receives updates, so I'm just, assuming the Switch 2 dock could also receive updates. But I think it's more about the protocol.
Yeah.
So it's a Switch main unit issue. So absolutely they could receive an update that fixes this.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that they do, because I think that is one of the most important things in a low-powered handheld. When it's docked, again, like my TV in my living room isn't going to support it. So it's not a big deal to me. That TV is not even 120 frames.
Yeah.
But my monitor is, and I would like to have it in my monitor. But I guess I'll just say it's 120. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know, saying it's 120 hertz screen, I don't know if that's going to like...
Just because it's a 120 hertz screen doesn't mean it's going to output 120.
Well, yeah, it could... Yeah, I don't know how much of a difference it would make. Anyway, so not happy about it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's not going to affect too many, I guess. I went through this trying to get 2 TVs connected to my computer's 4080. Try finding a DisplayPort to HDMI adapter that supports a VRR. I haven't found one. DisplayPort to HDMI is that the way? No, I think it's the other way. I think it's HDMI to DisplayPort that sucks. Never works. Just never works. I've never found a cable that does that.
It's got to be powered.
Yeah, that makes sense. You can buy DisplayPort to HDMI cables, and they just do not work.
Yeah.
Hope frame rates hold up. There's noticeable dips in Balatro on the OLED in handheld, some animations. That's crazy.
Interesting.
I'm telling you right now, don't expect consistent frame rates, especially at high frame rates. It's gonna be like what we're seeing with PC handhelds now, and it's not the best. But adding variable refresh rate helps tremendously.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in docked mode, you're not going to see that. But docked mode, you'll hopefully get a little bump in power, so maybe it'll be worth it. I would say if you're going to play in docked mode, stay at 60 frames, 60 hertz, which I'm pretty sure you can do in the settings. I'm pretty sure you can lock it. Anyway, that's your variable refresh rate drama.
Yep.
Big Daddy Mayhem, thanks for the 30 months. Wasn't VRR on PS5 also an update? It was.
Yes.
It was.
What was it? It was VRR, and then there was another like initial protocol that PS5 supported.
1440p.
No. It was like ARR or something like that. Or am I thinking of something else?
I don't know of an ARR.
I don't think it was ARR, but it was like a something.
I don't know.
So,
I know of VRR.
Yeah. No, that's the famous one.
I mean, there's it wasn't G-Sync.
No. G-Sync and FreeSync are
FreeSync.
Those are both types of variable refresh rate.
Yeah. Well, now you're gonna get people mad. The
Wikipedia page said they're types of variable.
You are. I agree with you, but
yes.
You're gonna get people mad.
Oh, come at me! It wasn't Pisser. That was on the PS5 Pro.
It might be FreeSync. Auto low latency.
That's it. Auto low latency.
I don't know what that is.
ALL. ALLM. Yeah. What the hell was that? Auto lovely. I remember I had to turn it off because like my TV doesn't support it.
Feature that automatically optimizes display settings for low latency, especially when gaming, by switching between low latency and high picture quality modes based on the input source.
Okay. There we go.
Reduce input lag and provide a smoother gaming experience by automatically optimizing display settings when a game is detected. Oh, so it just automatically changes settings.
Yes.
Auto sets TV to game mode. Oh, that's all it does.
My TV's already on game mode.
Game mode?
Game mode, yes.
It only shows
it only shows Call Me by Your Name,
right?
And stuff like that. Also, the screensaver is the pride flag.
Okay, very cool.
The new one with the trans part on it, because I know what's up.
Did you see Wood's baby? I know that he had a baby.
Yes.
I am
we have We have been in communication.
We have
with
been
wood.
in contact with wood.
Yes.
Anyway, more news.
Okay.
More Nintendo. Here we go. Nintendo Switch 2 games getting free updates.
Yes.
Nintendo Switch 1 games getting free updates on the Switch 2.
Yes. While some original Switch games will be receiving paid Switch 2 upgrades, like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, several others will receive performance upgrades for free. Through a system update, you can download free upgrades for selected games that may improve graphics or add support for features such as game share. The contents of these free updates will differ depending on the game, as per Nintendo. Some of the games currently listed will receive improvements to optimize their display for the Switch 2 screen and higher resolution TVs. Some will get boosts to their frame rates, and others will receive HDR support. Perhaps the most notable are the Game Share and Game Chat editions for certain games. And if you go to Nintendo's official website, it'll have a list of all the games getting free updates, as well as what those updates are.
Oh.
It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are all like Nintendo first party games. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
it's
11 games, 12 if you count Pokemon twice.
I have seen this list.
Yes.
55 worldwide games. You get game share support. Yay, that's actually pretty cool.
Yes.
Because then you don't have to own the game.
Yeah. Your friend has to own the game.
Yeah, and that's a game that you would definitely want to be game sharing.
Yeah.
Although there'd probably be some massive input later.
Yeah.
ARMS. Remember ARMS?
Yeah.
When I saw this, I was like, oh no. Why are we bringing back? I haven't heard about ARMS since the launch of the Switch 1.
Well, that's back, baby.
Big Brain Academy. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Game Builder Garage. This, I feel like, is important because of the Joy-Con 2.
Yes.
Garage uses the Joy-Con.
Supports Joy-Con 2 mouse controls, specifically.
Okay.
So that's an added feature to it.
New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe. Visuals are optimized. I thought this would have game share. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet definitely needs, look, it says frame rate improvement,
Yeah.
smoother movement on the Switch 2. I kind of want to jump in just to see what this is like, because I can't imagine it is going to improve that much. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. This has a lot of updates. Even HDR support.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of these updates are Bowser's Fury only. Game share is both.
Yeah.
Frame
rate improves for smoother movement on Switch 2, including Bowser's Fury.
Okay. Optimized. Yeah, you know what? They're all everything. Seems like. In Bowser's Fury 2, people can play together with one player controlling Mario and the other controlling Bowser Jr. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Super Mario Odyssey 2 or 1. I'm sorry, Super Mario Odyssey. The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom and The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Now, when I first saw this, these are all Switch 1 games are emulated on the Switch 2.
Yes.
It's using a translation layer.
Yeah.
So it's more or less emulated.
Right.
Echoes of Wisdom and Link's Awakening have issues with emulation because of that blur filter.
Yeah.
So I want to know how that works.
Well, maybe that's why this is a free upgrade, just to get. This is the only way they can get it working on Switch 2 properly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Optimized for Switch 2 display and high-resolution TVs for improved image quality. You're right. It's got to be some sort of patch for that. Because every time I've tried to emulate Echoes of Wisdom, you need some sort of patch that removes the blur filter or does something to it.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see what exactly they do to it and how that game's going to run.
Now, I'm looking at Breath of the Wild's upgrade, because that's a $10 upgrade. And that upgrade offers smoother frame rate, faster load time, enhanced resolution and textures, and the Zelda Notes app. So why are you paying $10 for an upgrade to Breath of the Wild, man? Because it looks like, aside from the Zelda Notes app, everything they're offering is the same as like what Odyssey and those games are getting.
It's just because of the breadth of the Wild. No, it's just because of the breadth of the
amount of
update, because you're going from like a not even 1080p like 30
right
to a full 4K
right
60.
Okay.
So I'd imagine that that's why. But
Okay.
I don't personally think it should cost that much.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think these game update prices are, I mean, $10 is $10. Grand scheme of things is not so bad, but like it does start to get ridiculous, and it does start to add up.
Yeah. I'm also curious how these frame rate mods are going to work, because some of these games, some of the game mechanics are tied to the frame rate.
Yeah.
So having an increased frame rate is not an easy thing to just implement.
Yeah.
New lore item sharing. I don't know. Don't forget, it's also free via Nintendo Switch Online expansion.
That's true. Yeah. But
Wait,
like,
the Zelda ones are?
the Zelda ones.
Oh,
yeah.
Good. I don't have to pay for it.
But you do have, if you're not subscribed to that, then you got to pay the $10.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about
I mean, look, you're gonna want to get subscribed to the expansion pack for the GameCube games.
it. Yes.
That's how they get
Killer
you.
Instinct.
Yes.
Does that include physical copies and they push out a digital update? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's basically a patch.
Yep. Okay. That's it for that news. Geo Lucas, thanks for the 6 months.
Backlog.
Hey guys, backlog time.
Backlog is a segment of this podcast, the Wulff Den podcast, where we go through our entire collection of 982 games, pick one at random, and talk about it regardless of whether or not we've played it.
176.
176. Lara Croft GO for the iPhone.
Okay, you actually played this.
I
like,
played
a
this
lot.
game. Yeah, this game rules.
I played this for a very little bit.
So this was part of back when IDOS was owned by Square Enix. This was part of the Go series. Started with Hitman Go. This was the second game, and Deus Ex Go, which we have covered on the backlog before.
Yes.
Yes.
I remember that.
Is this the best of the Go games? This is certainly the most like in-depth and complex.
Was this the first?
This was the second.
Okay.
You play as Lara Croft, the Tomb Raider, and it's more of a puzzle platformer. You have to like find your way through like this grid-based maze, avoiding enemies and obstacles. You can't just shoot at the creatures. You have to like, find ways around them and like find ways to sneak up on them. But it's more about like solving environmental puzzles, trying to get from the bottom to the top, collecting treasures along the way, unlocking more levels, unlocking more costumes, and so on and so forth.
It's a puzzle game.
Yes.
You move her around the map.
Yes.
Do you have like a set amount of moves, or is it just the world seems turn-based? Because like the enemies move when you move.
Yeah, the world, like you don't have a set amount of moves. There are certain objectives, like you get a bonus if you complete the level within X amount of moves.
Okay.
And whatnot. But yeah, it's more or less turn-based, because like you move and then like an enemy will move, or like you'll move and the environment will shift one way and you move back and it'll shift the other way. So it's all about like timing your movements and like making sure you get the right thing. Like right here on screen, the little creature's following you and you have to like time it so that you get pushed and he doesn't.
Okay.
So things like that.
Little tiny puzzle game featuring Lara Croft.
Yeah, it's very robust for a mobile game. There are a lot of levels in it. They updated it like a year after the game came out with like even more levels and stuff. It has a very cool art style. It's not directly ripped from the games, but it like is unique enough to this to set it apart from the other Tomb Raider games going on.
It has an 83 on Metacritic.
Yeah.
I remember people liking it.
Yeah, it was very good. I would probably say this is the best of the Go games. Hitman Go is excellent also, but yeah, I would say give this one a shot first if you want to try to get into it. It really.
Can you play it?
Now, yes. Yes, this was not delisted. Deus Ex Go, for some reason, was delisted. And not only delisted, if you have the game on your phone, you can't play it, period. They shut it down completely. But this is still up and running. I believe there's also a console version of this. Like
Weirdly,
you play it on PS4.
it is on Steam.
Yes.
And it's $10.
That's too much.
That's too much
That's
for
way
like
too
a
much.
Steam game.
Yeah.
It's on the Google Play Store
Yeah.
for $6.
Yeah.
This is a mobile.
It is 100% a mobile game. It's definitely a game to play on your phone while you're on the toilet or you're on the bus.
It has a 4.8 out of 5 on the Apple App Store.
Yeah, because it's a good game. You should play it.
I don't see any other information on here.
I mean, like, it just sucks because, like, it's your prototypical mobile puzzle game. There's, like, not much you can talk about with regards to, like, its depth or its story or, like, things like that.
Mobile games are games too.
They are. No, they are. But, like, there's levels to, like, you know, it's not, like, the big complex game.
Yeah.
That, like, we can spend hours talking about, you know? Like, it's not NFL 2K.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
We're fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, thanks for watching the Backlog. Come to the podcast sometime. Bye.
Bye.
Moving on here. I was addicted to Marvel Contest of Champions for 3 years on my own. I was addicted to Balatro. I'm a recovering Balatro addict.
I remember there are a lot of Marvel games on like the phone that like people get into, like Marvel Snap. I think Conquest of Champions was.
I avoided Marvel Snap.
Yeah,
I probably would have liked it,
but
I avoided it. Guys, you're gonna be so happy to know that there is a new MSI Claw coming out. We haven't had enough MSI Claws.
Yeah,
they decided we needed another.
But this time it's powered by AMD
and green.
Yes.
This is MSI Claw A8. They still have not figured out how to name things. MSI has revealed its latest iteration of the Claw PC gaming handheld, and this time it's powered by AMD, and that is one of my biggest wishes. The company showed off the Claw A8 BZ2EM. Write that down.
Rolls off the tongue.
At Computex 2025. I didn't even know that was happening right now, which comes with an AMD Ryzen Z2 Extreme chip along with up to 24 gigabytes of DDR5 memory. This is a chip that everybody was hoping to get soon, and we are still waiting for a device to come out with it. The first one that was announced was the Lenovo Legion Go 2. Still don't have that yet. I think it was late summer. It's supposed to come. So that's cool. That's a bit less RAM. The 24 gigabytes is a bit less RAM than the 32 gigabytes of memory that came with the Intel-equipped Claw 8 AI Plus released last year. But I'll jump in here and say that that's probably because the RAM was needed to pick up some of the slack from the Intel GPU. And it still has 8-inch full HD display, 120 hertz refresh rate, and a 1 terabyte M.2 SSD. The AMD-powered Claw A8 will also come in 2 colors, white and lime green. And I saw pictures of it in purple and blue.
If you scroll down, it says there's an MSI Claw 8 AI Plus Polar Tempest Edition. Oh, that features the Intel one, the Intel CPU, but that comes in a white and black.
Okay. Look. Where was I? MSI had a bit of
glittering white coating. I'm sorry.
Oh,
it glitters
like a car.
Yes,
it would be like a car.
Yes.
MSI had a bit of a rough start with the release of the original Claw handheld in March 2024, but it seemed to redeem itself with the launch of the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus. Lenovo also snapped up one of the AMD's new handheld-focused chips for the Legion Go S, but it uses the weaker Z2 Go version that my colleague Sean Hollister said can't compete with its predecessor's Z1 Extreme, and he would be correct. There's a new MSI Claw 8 AI Plus Polar Tempest Edition. That's the thing you just said. Oh, and that has 2 terabytes.
Ooh.
But that is the Claw 8 AI Plus. That's the one that existed already.
Yeah.
Now they just have a white version of it. So that's cool. I like the Intel GPU that they got in these things. I actually don't hate it. It played everything that I wanted to play perfectly fine. I liked how cool the fan was really quiet. It runs really cool. Everything about it I liked. My issue were the MSI's own like launcher. Their firmware is like not the best. And the triggers, I didn't like the triggers that much. It looks like this version, the triggers aren't really aren't really fixed.
Okay.
Trying to find I keep going to my like reader view and it's ruining the layout. The triggers look like they don't come down. They're well, they come down a little more, maybe. I do like the design of this a lot. I think it looks really cool. It's at least different. The original MSI Claw and the Claw AI 7 look just like an MSI or
look like Ally
X. Yeah. This looks like a new thing, and I think that the look looks really cool. Ergonomics, I don't know. It looks like it'll probably stick into your palms a little bit, but I don't mind that at all. The screen is nothing to write home about. It's the same. I mean, I like the screen. The screen's good, but it's nothing like that exciting.
Yeah.
But the exciting thing is getting an AMD processor in this because that'll help with compatibility, and more importantly, hopefully the price will be less because these things were really expensive. That was the big problem here. Was that it had an Intel GPU, which was like fine. Everything was fine, but it drove the price up. And why would I get it? Why would I get that over ones that have better compatibility and are cheaper?
For context, that Polar Tempest edition is going to cost $1,000.
Yeah,
that's the one with the.
But that is the older version.
Yes.
This we don't have price on this version with the AMD chip in it.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's competitive pricing because I would like MSI to compete with Asus.
Yeah.
However, Asus is coming out with a handheld this year, and it's going to be subsidized by Microsoft. So they might not be able.
Good luck.
They could probably compete with Lenovo.
Yeah.
But Lenovo has the benefit of working directly with Steam.
So you know what that means? MSI's got to get in bed with Epic. They're the other game storefront on the.
Yeah, and that won't help. No one cares about Epic.
I mean, look, people say that, and I know the Epic Game Store, like, nobody uses it compared to like Steam or even like Xbox on PC or whatnot. But I mean, if they want,
there'll be people in the chat that say that.
I know. I'm kind of like luring them out here, but like at the same time, like I think an Epic Games branded handheld might be beneficial to both companies because you know it's more promotion for Epic, and MSI can just be like, hey, this thing can play Fortnite from the word jump. You know, the most popular game in the world, and now you can play it anywhere at full spec.
Using Fortnite to promote it could be huge. I've gotten more times than I can count. People have asked me, "Hey, I need to get a PC for my son who wants to play Fortnite."
Yeah,
and they ask about PC handhelds, and I'm like, if they want to just play Fortnite, like. I don't know about docking a PC. Like, you're probably better off just getting a desktop. But if they can market this as the Fortnite machine.
Yeah.
Sure. Legend of Thief says, all those dead skin catching holes on the front. He's right. That's like a cheese grater for your palm. Although, these look like speaker holes.
I was going to say.
But these other ones look like just dimples.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm interested to check it out. I'm sure that they will send it to me. When are we seeing this? There's no release.
There's no release. Yeah.
Very interested to see how that performs. I'm waiting for my. I think Sunday I'll be getting my Legion Go S with SteamOS on it.
Okay.
SteamOS. Do we have any news about SteamOS?
No. Was there news about SteamOS?
We might have talked about it last week. The SteamOS identifier on Steam. Yeah, I think we did talk about it. Where it says Steam Deck verified and SteamOS
yes, we did. Yeah.
They're getting ready to roll out SteamOS.
Yeah.
But it's still very confusing. There is no SteamOS yet.
Yeah.
So Sunday I'm getting a device that supposedly has SteamOS on it, and SteamOS is not launched yet. So I'm very interested to see how that goes. But actually, it ships on Sunday, so I don't know what that means.
It probably means you'll get it like Tuesday.
That would be bad. I would not like that. Anyway. Anonymous, thanks for gifting a sub. I appreciate that. Next news. Talk about Kojima already?
That's what's next. Hideo Kojima has issued a morbid revelation to Edge magazine and discussed his change of thinking that occurred during the pandemic. Turning 60 was less of a turning point in my life than my experiences during the pandemic, he said. I fell seriously ill at the time and also had an eye operation. Until then, I didn't think I was old, I just didn't feel my age, and I assumed I would be able to create for as long as I lived. But then I became sick, and I couldn't create anything, and I saw lots of people around me passing away at the time. I was confronted with death. Of course, I recovered, but now I was thinking, wait, how many years do I have left to make a game or a film? Perhaps I have 10 years?
I like that he's saying film.
Yes.
I want him to make a movie.
Yeah. Well, I think, what was it? His stealth game, Fizzant?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like going to be a movie and a game.
Okay.
Yeah. The revelation not only caused Kojima to take on a number of new projects, but to create a USB stick, which he hopes will help secure the future of Kojima Productions following his death. I gave a USB stick with all of my ideas on it to my personal assistant, kind of like a will, he said. Perhaps they could continue to make things after I'm gone at Kojima Productions. This is a fear for me. What happens to Kojima Productions after I'm gone? I don't want them to just manage our existing IP.
I did hear about this. I'm trying to find the tweet about it.
What kind of pressure do you think that is? You have a USB stick with the late Hideo Kojima's ideas on it, and you have to make a game about it.
That USB stick is worth so much. Right
Yeah.
Now. Is this the? I think the Game Awards tweeted about it.
Oh, jeez.
And then there was this. Which is from Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yes.
The Philosopher.
That's good.
It's very Kojima.
Yes.
To do that.
Yes.
And yeah, I want to know how it's like formatted. What is it? Just freaking text files?
Yeah. Text files. Are there pictures on it? Or there's video? Is it him filming Norman Reedus doing something weird? Probably. It's probably that.
He must have like a folder of like game ideas that are structured in some way.
Yeah.
And this is like, here's my USB stick of the ideas, turn them into something.
Yeah.
But like, who's going to be able to do that?
Yeah, you can't
He's got the blueprints, but they can't be that in depth.
You can't just make a Hideo Kojima game.
Yeah.
You need Hideo Kojima to do that.
We've
seen that.
We've seen people try and fail miserably.
So,
Snake Eater with the 100 bits. I hope the official finished ending of Metal Gear Solid 5 is on that thumb drive.
Yeah.
God, I hope he gets back into Metal Gear.
Yeah. That's what's gonna happen. Like Kojima Productions, like he goes and like they don't know what to do with like his ideas, and then Konami just swoops in and buys them.
Yeah. Let's get into everybody's favorite topic.
Yes.
Epic Games and Apple lawsuit.
Yes. Hold on, where are my notes? All right. So to recap, for those of you who don't know, Epic Games sued Apple for a lot of like, anti-competitive shenanigans. Apple won the lawsuit with the exception of Apple had to allow third-party payment of items within apps. Apple fucked around and found out. So now the judge is like, knock that off. You have to implement it. And because of that, Fortnite is allowed to come back to the App Store in the United States of America, but Apple is still fucking around. Epic Games says that Apple has blocked its attempt to add Fortnite to the iOS App Store. The game was submitted to Apple for review on May 9th, but on May 14th, Epic CEO and friend of the show, because I like to tweet of mine that one time, Tim Sweeney told his followers on Twitter that Apple still hadn't approved the game's release. Now the game's official Twitter account has posted a statement saying that the game's addition to the iOS App Store has been blocked and that the game will be unavailable globally on iOS until Apple reverses its decision. Apple has blocked our Fortnite submission, so we cannot release to the US App Store or to the Epic Games Store for iOS in the European Union, the statement reads. Now, sadly, Fortnite on iOS will be offline worldwide until Apple unblocks it.
Did we talk about this last week?
We talked about how like they have to let Fortnite back on the store, and that Epic was the way they're doing it is they submitted it through Epic Games Sweden.
Yes, and now Apple came back and said no.
Yeah,
we reject your submission, which is in direct defiance of the court.
Yes. Then the judge, her name escapes me at the time, but the judge like saw that and basically wrote like to Apple, like, no, you have to release it on the App Store.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah. So
yeah, literally right before we went live.
Literally just now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it in a tweet.
Yeah.
Fortnite on Twitter said Fortnite is back on the App Store in the US on iPhones and iPads and on the Epic Games Store and Alt Store in the EU. It'll show up in the search soon.
Yes.
Go get the Fortnite App Store in the Get Fortnite on the App Store in the US by clicking this.
Yeah.
And there she is in all of her glory.
So yeah, there you go. It is amazing how like the most popular game in the world went 5 years without being on the most popular operating system in the world and didn't affect anything.
Yeah, I wonder what the numbers of Fortnite are because people still play it. It's still massively popular.
Yeah.
I just don't really hear. I mean, I guess I do hear about it. I hear whenever they add new characters and stuff.
You know, I still know people who, you know, play it. I hear about people playing it all the time. I want to get into it, but I don't know if you can buy Bender anymore from Futurama, so that's a big turnoff for me.
I don't like how characters go in and out of seasons.
I understand characters going in and out, but like I don't understand how the store works. Like, can I search for characters, or is it just whatever on the front page?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I have no idea. Every time I go into play, I mean, I shouldn't say every time. Sometimes I go into play it and I'm like, this game fucking sucks. Sometimes I go into play it and I'm like amazed at like some of the new weapons and mechanics and stuff. I think it is a very good game, especially a free game. What I like more about the game is them fighting against Apple this whole time.
Yes.
Because somebody had to do it. And if it wasn't them, there would be nobody to do it.
Yeah.
There'd be literally nobody to tell Apple that they're being too totalitarian with their app store.
Not too totalitarian though. We can just breeze through this real quick because friend of the show, Tim Sweeney, before Fortnite was able to get back on the App Store, Apple was just letting Fortnite knockoffs parade around the App Store pretending to be the real deal. Tim Sweeney tweet, update, Apple has taken down Fort Battle Royale epic shooter. Players looking for a fake adware version of Fortnite on the App Store should try instead Epic Survival Battle Royale 3D Clash Squad Battle Royale 3D approved by Apple.
Cool, man. I mean,
I don't understand.
It's got 2 stars.
I don't understand the App Store sometimes because like the whole point of Apple's control is like highly curated, you know, no bullshit, no like crap, you know, spyware,
it was originally
adware.
Called Fort Battle Royale Epic Shoot.
Yeah, but like, and it's hard to get stuff on the App Store and get it approved. But then like shit like this just slips through all the time.
Yeah, I mean it happens with any game that's not on the App Store.
Yeah,
there'll be. You can see like what people are searching for.
Yeah.
And it's like Pokemon. So like everyone's trying to get their own.
Unpacking, you know, recently mentioned on the show Unpacking. There's like 1,000 Unpacking knockoffs because Unpacking is not on the App Store.
The reason why Vampire Survivors is on mobile at all is because there were a lot of knockoffs.
And it's on there for free.
Yeah.
Because they knew that the knockoffs would be like free.
Yeah. So they were like, we don't want you to get knockoffs. We'd rather you just get the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that needs some better curating, and they could absolutely do that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, more Fortnite news.
Yes, but not good Fortnite news. Star Wars and AI are colliding in one of the biggest games around. Darth Vader once again joined Fortnite on Friday, except unlike so many crossover cameos in the game, this one will talk back to you and your friends while you're running around a junk junction looking for easy pickoffs. It's voiced by a digital replica of the late James Earl Jones's voice, and Epic Games says the Star Wars actor's family is okay with it.
I think during his passing,
like right before he died, like during the production of Obi-Wan, he like signed a deal where like Disney's allowed to use his voice via AI.
Yeah,
for Star Wars related purposes.
Insane.
That is sucks. Strategize with the ultimate Sith Lord with your voice, and he'll respond back using conversational AI, Epic announced in a blog post. Darth Vader has touched down once again as a boss in Battle Royale, replacing Darth Vader's samurai. Be the first to recruit him, and your whole team will be able to take turns talking to him. Just remember to press the special Darth Vader button, and he'll pop up to talk to him.
Special Darth Vader.
I love that, the special Darth Vader button. Players have already been running around with the James Earl Jones Darth Vader AI chatbot since it went live, and have been getting it to say all kinds of weird and silly stuff.
Yes.
Now, if you want to play one of the videos, you can. I would just recommend only playing the first one, because the other all involve racial slurs.
Okay. Is this the first?
Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah. Oh, it. Yeah, so
I don't know if that came out on stream at all.
But Darth Vader said the F word.
Darth Vader said freaking fucking.
Yeah. So yeah, they found ways to get him to say swears, and like I said before, they found ways to get him to say racial and homophobic slurs.
Yes, I did see some of those. They issued a very quick hotfix for that.
Yeah.
As far as I know, but you could still get him to say weird shit.
Yeah. You're supposed to be able to like submit a notification to Epic for when stuff like that happens, so they can fix it immediately. But like they were slow to implement it, like the first time around.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, this had to happen in order for them to do something about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool to see to be able to interact with Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I don't like it's a dead guy.
Yeah, what's not cool.
It's very strange.
Yes. It's so much not cool that SAG-AFTRA actually had to file a complaint about it. SAG-AFTRA, the organization that represents voice, motion, and screen performers, has filed an unfair labor complaint against Epic Games. The complaint stems from the company's recent introduction of an AI program to sound like James Earl Jones' Darth Vader that can respond to players' actions and questions. SAG-AFTRA wrote in a statement that it understands its members and members' estates wish to use AI technology in any way they choose. However, SAG-AFTRA's statement continued, "We must protect our right to bargain terms and conditions around use of voice that replaces the work of our members, including those who previously did work to matching Darth Vader's iconic rhythm and tone in video games." So whether or not Epic Games realized it or not, they stepped into a whole can of worms, because this is what SAG-AFTRA was striking about not too long ago.
Yeah.
Was like the use of AI in future projects with or without the original person's, blessing.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that the estate is getting some cash for this.
I mean, according to Epic, it sounds like the estate is cool with it. They gave permission. Epic said James Earl Jones felt that the voice of Darth Vader was inseparable from the story of Star Wars, and he always wanted fans of all ages to continue to experience it. Yeah, so we hope that this collaboration with Fortnite will allow both longtime fans of Darth Vader and newer generations to share in the enjoyment of his iconic character.
Chris Mack says, realistically, though, the idea of talking back and forth with a character in a game, how could that be done without AI? It needs to be done with AI, but you need to train the AI. So in this case, the AI was trained on James Earl Jones's voice.
Yeah.
There has to have been some money exchanged for that.
Oh, definitely.
SAG-AFTRA is arguing that a person could have been paid to train the AI. Yeah.
And honestly, like, I agree with them, because there have been Darth Vader. James Earl Jones is not the only voice of Darth Vader. He's just the most famous voice. Darth Vader has appeared in video games for decades now, voiced by many different people. One of them was Chad Vader, the day manager of the supermarket from those fan films. So
I don't think it's a big deal ethically if somebody is getting paid for the voice and it's his family. I think it's very weird that we're using a dead guy's voice.
Yeah.
That's the
but,
part
like,
that I take issue.
It's also a very slippery slope because, like, yes, now you have permission from the family, but let's say down the road Disney wants to do like commercials of Darth Vader selling toothpaste. And his family
in the past they would have gotten a new guy.
Yeah.
But now
and let's say James Earl Jones's estate didn't approve the commercial. Well, we have the voice. We technically don't need your approval. Like that's the slippery slope we're going down at this point. It happened last year with Alien Romulus. The fucking Ian Holmes' whole face and body is in the movie, but he's been dead for years.
Yeah, I just don't
like that's so gross.
To me, it's not. I mean, yes, it's an issue that we're taking a job away from a person. But, my issue is more. It's bizarre to use a dead person's likeness like that. Let it go. It's time to move on and put someone else in that role. It's a fictional character.
Yes,
you don't have to tie it to a person's likeness, especially if they're no longer with us. Anyway. So go play Fortnite and go talk shit to
see if you can get him to say shit.
Yeah. What now? Neil Druckmann confirms involvement in second unannounced Naughty Dog project. So this is
not Intergalactic.
Okay.
There's
second, unannounced Naughty Dog project.
There has been speculation in recent times about Naughty Dog's upcoming projects, and now in a slight update, The Last of Us director Neil Druckmann has revealed that he's involved in a second title at the studio. As mentioned on the Press X to Continue podcast, Druckmann has not only been locked in as one of the directors of Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, but he's also confirmed he's working in more of a producer role on this second unannounced project. Then there's another game that's been being worked on at Naughty Dog where I am in more of a producer role and I get to mentor, watch this other team, and give feedback and be the executive in the room. I enjoy all of those roles, and the fact that I jump from one to the next makes my job very exciting and always feels fresh. I'm never bored.
That's cool. I'd like to see something from Naughty Dog that isn't from him.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like him.
Well,
I would just like to see.
I think definitely since The Last of Us 1, he's like taken control of the studio because like Amy Hennig left Uncharted 4 and he took over the project.
Yeah.
Bruce Straley, who co-created The Last of Us, lest we forget, left, and The Last of Us Part 2 was basically his baby then to the end, Druckmann's baby to the end, and now he's doing the TV show. So it'd be nice to see what like another smaller team can do. Maybe it's another original IP. Maybe it's Jack and Dexter again.
Yeah.
So we don't know, but like, hopefully it's something unique and different from what Druckmann's been doing.
Yeah, I want to, because Naughty Dog is they only make bangers.
Yeah.
So I would like to see a Naughty Dog game that has some other talent involved.
I thought you were gonna say Naughty Dog only makes bangers, so I want to see them make something that sucks.
Maybe. That's fine.
Yeah.
I keep seeing stuff about The Last of Us 2 and like the season 2, The Last of Us the show season 2. I want to watch it, but every clip I see, I'm like, I don't like this. I already played most of the game. And maybe my issue was the story after all.
Well, it's funny because like a buddy of mine is watching the show. He didn't play the game.
Also, Joel was the best part of the show and the game.
Yeah.
And without him, why am I watching?
Oh, when that happened, he's like, I asked him, like, did it happen? What happened? The golf club? Yeah! Now what? I'm like,
now you got to sit through a whole season of a show.
I'm trying, like he's saying all the stuff that happens in the show, and I'm remembering it from the game. They moved the timeline around a lot because like there's something that happens at the end of the game that they put in last week's episode.
Okay.
So and that's like the beginning of like the timeline, like Ellie going to fight Abby. But I'm trying to explain to him that like next season is probably going to be Abby's side of the story. And he's like, I hate Abby. Like, you say that now. But like,
yeah. Also, I'm seeing clips of like Yeah, I'm just seeing clips of Ellie, and I'm like, I'm not into this.
It's honestly, it's making me think I want to go back and play these games again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when I'm gonna have time because they're like 1,000 hours each, but you know, maybe I was too hard on the last. Probably not, but
I liked a decent chunk of it.
yeah.
It was literally when we switched to play as Abby. I was like, I do not care to play.
See, that was the
Abby
thing. When we switched to play as Abby, like, I thought that was the better stuff. I thought that was the more interesting story.
I would have liked it if it ended 3 hours earlier.
Yeah.
I would have liked it.
Oh, no, the game, like, to be clear, game's too fucking long for what it is.
Game's way too long. And they make you play as the character that they made you hate.
Yeah.
For, like, a long time.
Yeah.
And, like, in The Last of Us 1... they make you hate a guy right at the end.
Yeah.
And you're forced to play as him.
Yeah.
But like you only hate him and are forced to play as him for like a few hours.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah. If The Last of Us Part 2 was just Abby's story and you find out like what she did at the end or like even in the middle, like I feel like that might have been a stronger game.
Yeah. It needs yeah. Instead it's like 1-to-1. It's Ellie and Abby and it should have been Ellie and then like a little bit of Abby and then I would have.
And then a
happy.
5-hour epilogue where you hop back and forth between the two.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Anyway, why not just watch the cutscene movie on YouTube? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah.
Yeah. I see you have a story crossed up.
Do I?
Microsoft testing Steam integration.
Did I mean to cross that out?
Well, did you want to talk about Microsoft testing Steam?
Oh, I think I crossed it out because like I didn't know like the validity of this. Yeah, in a video by Xstalis on YouTube, spotted by The Gamer, discusses Steam integration in the Microsoft Store. The insider stated Microsoft has just officially added Steam application to the support software of its devices. That application can be found under the name Steam Developer Beta and is only available to certain employees, and people who support or develop things for Microsoft. The leaker added that Steam integration in the Microsoft Store will provide players a smoother experience when running an application in Windows environments and in future Xbox environments. The insider also spoke about how the next generation of Xbox will be more in the direction of a PC than a console, and the development of this generation will also be based on PC environments.
That sounds cool. Oh,
yes.
And then at the end of the article, it says, on the topic of Microsoft and Steam, an official blog post from Xbox featured a tab labeled Steam in the mock-up. Remember?
Yes.
We did talk
about that, yeah.
Yeah, in this little picture, there was a tab labeled Steam. Yep, right there, Steam. So I guess what this supposed leak is saying is that on Xbox consoles, and probably the handheld that's coming out, Steam the app will be compatible.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's gonna be PC first. And then not this Xbox, not the Series X and S, but the next Xbox will have a similar feature to it.
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking that Steam, the app, might just be able to launch in the Xbox console environment.
And just run like in an emulator?
I don't know. They would do a translation layer or something. So I don't know if that's for a future console or if that's for the consoles we have. Right. I mean, everything's an Xbox.
Right.
So I'm thinking they want to have a consistent experience across everything.
Yeah.
So also, we're not 100% sure what the handheld what the operating system environment is going to be on the handheld that's coming out. We're pretty sure it's just going to be Windows. But what if it's not? What if it is more of a Xbox console-like experience?
Yeah.
Then having the app run in the console operating system would be fucking insane.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. But that could be really cool.
Yeah.
Right now, I like Steam OS because of how console-like the experience is. Imagine Xbox operating system that just lets you open Steam.
Yeah.
That
I would love that.
is insane.
Yeah.
That would be insane to think about. Xbox is running Windows and x86 chips, right? That could probably launch close to natively.
It has an x86 chip, but it's not running Windows. Like, that's the thing that I think confuses people. It is a proprietary, like, Xbox OS.
Yeah, I don't know how close to Windows it is.
Yeah.
I know it is very close, but I don't know exactly how close it is. Not like I was reminded that the Dreamcast ran on Windows CE.
So I don't think it technically ran on Windows CE, but it had a compatibility with Windows.
I think
CE.
it was pretty much just Windows CE. It's closer to Windows LTSC. Don't know.
Modern Vintage Gamer did a video like getting into the specifics of it, but I believe he said it's not actually running on Windows CE, but like there's a compatibility with Windows CE.
Well, I trust him with my life.
Yeah.
We need a hybrid Xbox OS with a desktop mode. Xboxes would make great intro PCs next gen if they did that. Yeah, I think that they should heavily focus on integrating the two because that's their biggest strong suit. Microsoft's biggest strong suit is that they have Windows.
Yeah.
One thing to keep in mind is that Xbox is an x86 and x64 instruction set, just like Windows. It uses DirectX 12, just like PC games. Yeah. Yeah, so it probably wouldn't need any translation unless it's Vulkan. It would need some sort of translation to launch the game.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it? So the Dreamcast was kind of sued because they never actually ran Windows CE or something like that.
I don't know if it was.
I thought it was like extremely easy to get into Windows CE on the Dreamcast.
Don't know the specifics.
Anyway, breaking news. Cheap ass gamer tweeted Nintendo console classic icons via My Nintendo.
Ooh.
We got all the classics. We got Game Boy, we got Game Boy Color, we got Game Boy Advance, we got N64, we got NES.
I might have to turn on my Switch
GameCube,
and
we got
update.
SNES. What's notable here is that all of these are Nintendo Switch online compatible consoles.
Yes.
The weird one, which Jake Randall points out, is the mouse.
Well, Switch 2, it does have a mouse mode.
You're sure
So
right.
they're bringing back the mouse.
He just says Mario Paint coming to Switch 2 confirmed.
Well, yeah.
Which would make the most sense.
Yeah.
Having the mouse mode work as a mouse and having Mario Paint launch with it. That would make the most sense. Thank you to Chris Mack for pointing that out. Gearbox. Randy Pitchford. Just in an attempt to be the most hateable guy.
Yes, he does have like a punchable face. After one Borderlands fan expressed their desire that Borderlands 4 not cost $80, Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford said that the game's pricing was not his call. While he might have some influence, publisher Take-Two Interactive is likely to have the final say on costs. However, Pitchford also had some choice advice for players who might balk at that inflated price tag. Just find the money. Quote, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen, Pitchford said of a potential $80 figure before embarking on a personal anecdote to drive his point home. See, his local game store had a copy of the 1991 Sega Genesis space sim Starflight for sale 3 decades ago, and Pitchford found the money to pay for it, even though he was just out of high school working minimum wage at an ice cream parlor. So if he can do it, you can too. You can cough up the money for Borderlands 4.
If you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. That is such shitty way to talk about it.
Like, it's remarkably shitty.
If you're upset that the cost is too high, you're not a big enough fan.
Yeah, it's your fault. You know, you don't love us enough. Wow.
That's so fucking
like on it, like that's so gross on so many levels.
Yeah.
Like,
he should have just said,
sorry.
I don't make the call.
Yeah, I don't make the call. I'm sorry. That's it.
That's it. That's all he had to say.
But no, he had to bring
and then make a personal anecdote about how he worked at an ice cream parlor and
to buy Starflight, a game nobody gives a shit about.
Yeah, and he scraped up the money for it.
Yeah.
Back in my day, life sucked.
Yeah.
And we were fine with it.
And like, it really pisses me off when people use the term real fan, because like that's usually spoken by people who don't know, like who aren't fans, period, and just want to be like angry at something.
Yeah.
So
you're not a real fan if you don't have any money.
Yeah.
Next news, more CEO talk.
All right, so I want to introduce a new segment to the show.
Okay, we don't have a bump for this.
No, we don't, but it doesn't really need a bump. So I call this, did Doug Bowser answer the question?
Okay. I like this game.
So for those of you who don't know,
Play at home, leave it in the comments.
Yes. IGN recently had a big interview with Doug Bowser, president and CEO of Nintendo of America. Didn't want to take a picture with me one time. That is a true story, by the way. So basically, this was for the opening of the San Francisco Nintendo store.
Okay.
And they took the opportunity to ask him some questions. There were 3 questions that they asked specifically about the Switch 2. And I thought this would be a good pilot for my new game. Did Doug Bowser actually answer the question?
Okay.
So the first question on console pricing, there was basically about, they announced the Switch 2, then they had to pause the pre-order because of the tariffs. The question is, to what extent can you commit to the Switch 2's $450 price tag for both launch and beyond? Doug Bowser answers, well, we make a commitment by announcing the pricing of both the single SKU at $449 and then the bundle SKU with Mario Kart World at $499. And we really thought it was important that we establish that price point even after further tariffs were announced, to give consumers that comfort that they would be able to purchase at that price point. Obviously, it's still a very fluid situation and it's difficult to determine what may be happening in the upcoming months or weeks, but our commitment is to find ways within existing market conditions or changing market conditions to make our products, including the Nintendo Switch 2 hardware, as obtainable as we possibly can.
He said a lot of words to... He did not answer the question, but he said a lot of words that were related to the question.
Yes. He said...
He answered it without answer. He did his best to answer it without committing
to sound
at all.
Comforting in his answer without giving a hard answer.
He gave the reasons why he cannot answer it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't want to give him too much flack for that one.
Okay. Well, the next question was on software pricing. Because again, Donkey Kong Bonanza is going to be a $70 game, but Mario Kart World is going to be an $80 game. So the question is, internally, were you all expecting the level of backlash over the price? What were those conversations like? Doug Bowser's answer: really, the conversation centered around what is the right price to charge for a software experience. We look at things such as the content. We look at the extended amount of play that would be provided through the gameplay experiences. We look at a number of different factors as we consider what the pricing may be. And so we felt that the price that we charge for Mario Kart World really does equal the value of the gameplay experience. But as you also saw, that was one price point. For Donkey Kong Bonanza, our price point was set to $69.99.
Now, I did cheat a little bit. I read a little ahead.
Okay.
Because he clearly did not answer the question at all.
Yes.
Because IGN says... So back to the original question. Were you expecting that level of backlash over the Mario Kart World pricing announcement? I think anytime you make pricing decisions, there's a level of backlash. But I'd love to focus now on the store. He just...
That's my favorite quote.
He just did not answer and then said, let's talk about something else.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, understood.
All right. So the last part was about the question of game key cards. Let me just see why didn't I put the questions in the Doug Bowser was asked if physical media was still going to be a part of Nintendo's business or whether he saw game key cards as the future. So if you're unfamiliar, game key cards are just basically empty dummy cartridges that you put into your Switch 2 and you download the full game. The game is not on the cartridge itself. So Doug Bowser answers, in the immediate future, physical games are still a key part of our business, and we value our relationships in particular with our retailers and want to make sure we have products available for them to sell to their customers. When you look at game key cards, for us, our goal with the Nintendo Switch 2, similar to what we were able to accomplish with the original Switch, is to have the broadest and deepest library of content we possibly can. And that includes our publishing partners. And game keycards are a way that our publishing partners are able to bring more content onto the platform, deeper and larger, more immersive content on the platform.
He did not answer the question.
You don't think he answered? See, I think he answered the question with too many words.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So like he's
so moving forward is I had to reread the question while he was talking. Moving forward, is physical still going to be a big part of your business?
Yeah. Yeah. So like,
oh, he said physical games are still a key part of our business.
Yeah. It's basically more about like they have the game key cards option is like because they still want to have something to sell in stores. They still want something to sell at Target and Walmart and Best Buy.
It's kind of their answer to keeping things physical.
Yeah.
Which is a bad
It's not a great answer, no.
So he said in the immediate future, physical games are still going to be a key part of our business. That means the distant future. Well, who knows?
I saw, I think it was on, if it was Games Radar or Nintendo Life, but they said that Nintendo confirmed that their first party games are not going to be game key cards.
Right.
This is more of a solution for third party developers who make like the big games that like can't fit on a key card. Because Nintendo is much better at like keeping games small.
Interesting that you say that because supposedly they're only the physical cartridges that aren't game key cards are only 64 gigabytes.
Yes.
That's the rumor right now.
Yeah.
So if that's true, then the game key cards are not for the ones who necessarily just can't fit the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's also for people who have really small games and don't need all 64 gigabytes of the cartridge because those are expensive cards.
It might, honestly, it might be cheaper just to have the dummy cards.
Yeah, so it's for both. And that we're going to see a lot more game key cards than we expect, I think.
Yeah.
So anyway, a whole lot of nothing going on with this Nintendo San Francisco. It looks cool store.
It does. I do think it's cool that they have this the Switch, the Joy-Con customization.
We did talk about that.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that like they change the New York store like to match this store and then the one that's going to be in Japan.
The New York store kind of sucks comparatively. They have the Joy-Con color customization. They also have statues all over the store, and then you can buy a miniature version of that statue.
That's cool.
That's something that they had in the Japanese stores.
Yeah.
And that's something that they do not have in the New York store.
I mean, do you think it's because the New York store is not that big? Do you think it's a space issue? Or?
No, the other stores aren't big either. The Japanese stores are very small compared to New York. New York is the biggest, I think. I don't know how big the San Francisco store is, but I'm pretty sure New York is the biggest of all of them because it has 2 stories. So anyway, this, we should talk about this. This isn't one of the news stories, but I would like to bring it up real quick.
Okay.
NVIDIA is doing a little contest, and RTX Remix gives modders the power to breathe new life into classic games with full ray tracing, remastered assets, and neural rendering, including DLSS 4. Enter the $50,000 RTX Remix mod contest now, and they showcase a bunch of games. Like the very first one is Sonic Adventure
1.
It's called Remix. Sonic Adventure 1 Remix or something. With ray tracing and all of these other mods that are NVIDIA powered. That's pretty awesome because these are not affiliated with the game companies.
No.
It's not sanctioned at all. This is just NVIDIA basically promoting mods.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, is really huge to have a big company like that directly support and fund mods.
Yeah.
So if you're a modder, there you go. You can submit to
win some money.
Win some money.
I do. The Half-Life 2 RTX mod is like particularly well known because it's like kind of supported by Valve. Like they're open to it and they like kind of sanctioned it.
Yeah. Valve is very open to mods like that. So, excuse me while I scroll frantically for a tweet of the week.
Oh, did I save one? It was an Instagram of the week.
Instagram of the week.
Yeah,
I don't like that at all.
I know. I mean, I don't like it either. I don't even like Instagram, like at all. I'm on there for like good memes and stuff.
I do not.
But like the memes aren't that good.
I only open it when Wood sends me Instagram reel. He's the only one that sends me. Oh, him and Pacini send me Instagram reels.
Yeah, I got too many friends that send memes this way.
I'm a TikTok bitch.
Too old for TikTok. Ah, did I not save it? It was good.
Scroll too far. I'm in last week now.
Also, like Blue Sky needs to get like a save feature because I don't want to like everything. You know, I just want to
share the love. Start liking things.
I mean, I do, but like, what if I don't want to like it necessarily? You know,
I haven't been on Twitter that much this week.
This is good radio right here, folks. Us silently.
We'll get there eventually. Did you see the Foo Fighters kicked out their drummer?
Yes.
Not a good year for Dave Grohl.
No.
A very bad PR year.
Like, you know, my friends and I, because like, you know, we grew up. Josh Freese played on like every single punk rock record we ever listened to. He was the drummer of the Vandals, permanent drummer of the Vandals. But like, he played in like 1,000 albums, and like that was the only drummer to make sense to like fill in for Taylor Hawkins.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's like, I'm not in the band anymore. Don't know why.
Maybe they didn't like him.
You know,
maybe there's a reason he hasn't been in a band.
So I think it's because think back to it, like with the Foo Fighters, you know, who's the only drummer in the Foo Fighters who can replace Taylor Hawkins? The guy playing guitar in the front.
Yeah.
It's probably because
that's a very difficult job.
Yeah, because like Dave Grohl fired their original drummer for the Foo Fighters. So
I found a tweet.
All right, here we go.
That's not it. This is from Theo Greenbear, and it says, "Bi-gender donkey, he, her, he, her."
That's good. That is funny.
Everybody. Anyway, I'm talking to you guys now.
Yes, let's talk to people who left comments on last week's Wulff Den podcast over on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Wulff Den podcast.
All right. We are... Where are you? TJ Mayer. Once again, the synchronization of the backlog intro was atrocious. I'm expecting better next time. Love the pod, fellas. Another great episode. Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll make it worse on purpose. Doomy says, I think Nintendo's estimate will be right. This is of the sales of the Switch.
15 million, I think.
Even though Americans specifically complain about the economy and eggs, they have no problem affirming their Chipotle and spending... First of all, you know, I'll let them finish. They have no problem affirming their... affirm is like the... I mean, the service that you split the payment up, that's Affirm. That's what he means.
Mm-hmm.
They have no problem splitting the payment up for their Chipotle and spending $500 on $500 a month on DoorDash. We have a finance culture, and I am sure a majority of Switches will be financed.
Let me guess. You don't think I can afford a house because I eat avocado toast?
Chipotle is so cheap.
Comparatively.
You try making the shit that they put in Chipotle, go to the grocery store and make that shit. Even if you buy the same amount of Chipotle versus what you can make at home from the grocery store, you're still getting a deal at Chipotle.
To a point. I mean, the problem is you go to the store, you get all the stuff. You always wind up with more than what you need, and the amount of time it takes to make it, plus all the cleanup that you have to do.
It's like $9. Yeah. That's a pretty big bowl that you get.
So,
I'm saying.
I don't know.
But no, I understand what you're saying. There is like a problem with these Klarna and Affirm, and there's one other one where you cut the payment up for a lot of things. It's going to start fucking people.
You got to be careful with that. I mean, I've used stuff like that, but like I've used the ones through my credit cards that like offer like no monthly payments and stuff.
So I just heard today that I think Klarna is down revenue because nobody's missing their payments. They only make money if people miss their payments.
Yeah.
because then they just screw them.
Yeah.
And statistically, 1/3 of people will miss their payment.
Yeah.
That's a pretty huge amount of people, and they screw you hard if you miss a
Well,
payment.
that's how credit card rewards work.
Yeah.
They're being funded by all the people who like miss their payment or only pay the minimum.
Right.
And then they got to pay the interest and stuff.
So apparently Klarna is down because people are hitting their payment, which is good.
Yeah,
That's good
good,
news for everybody except Klarna.
Also, too, like Klarna and Affirm, like it's bi-weekly payments. Like, how is that?
Like your paycheck, like along with your paycheck.
But like, that's not smart. Like, it should be like, because a credit card statement is every month.
Yeah.
Like, that makes more sense to me than like doing it bi-weekly. Just wait for your credit card statement.
Yeah. I would say, I heard people talking about doing this with the Switch and with, I have a friend who's doing it with the Lenovo Legion Go, and that's like $1 million. That's like a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I know that these services are bad, but I can't explain why. So I watched a video on it. What I've concluded is if you want to use one of these payment splitting options, you get one. You can do it one time, and you have to hit your payment.
So I've done it a couple of times. Let me explain.
No, okay, you get one at a time is what I mean.
Yes.
That's what I mean.
So like on
if you ordered Chipotle and you Klarna'd it, that's it. You don't get another one until you pay that one.
On Amazon, for certain purchases over a certain price point, if you have the Amazon Visa, which I do, you can split up the payments. You can make monthly payments with no interest. That's how I bought the PS5. I paid it off over a year because it was really fucking expensive, and I bought my desk that way. So you just pay it off a little bit at a time, no interest, as long as you get your payments, and like that works very well. Like,
again, they make their money off of you missing a payment.
Yeah.
So the problem is it's too enticing to do that all the time.
Yeah,
and most people do not have the restraint. You do it once and you get the little dopamine rush and you're like, that was easy. I could just do that all the time. And then that's how you get yourself into like a mountain of debt. So again, you get one. You could do it one time. And then that's it. And you have to hit the payment or else they win.
Yeah.
I did payments for my Switch 2 pre-order, not because I needed to, but because it's an easier sell. It's easier to sell on my wife on that versus $500 on release. I mean, it kind of makes a little bit of sense for a pre-order too, because the thing's not even out yet, and you're dumping the money into it, and you don't even have the thing. If you can pay it off before it even comes out, I mean, why not? But again, don't overdo it, for the love of God. DevOps Boss says Game Fact by Will deserves a separate YouTube channel. How about TikTok?
Yeah, there you go.
Jeff T Magic says Will Tamagotchi is a video game by every definition. Come on, man.
Hannah agrees with me.
Hannah agrees with me that it is not a video game.
There you go.
Nobody else does though. Everyone else. I read the TikTok comments.
I had to explain it to my wife, like, because if you think about it, like it's sold as a toy. Like, yes, it technically has a screen, has buttons you interact with, but like it's marketed as a toy. It has more features like a toy and stuff.
Yeah, but like the Tiger Electronics toys.
I know, but like
you explained there was a football game that was inducted into the Hall of Fame that was just a box with an LED light on it.
Yeah.
That I do not think is a video game.
Even though that probably has more in common with the video game.
It's a box with a light. I don't think a light is an animation. It's not a video.
Right.
A Tamagotchi plays a video.
Okay.
And it is also a game. So the two things together. Lord Vex says, quote, I don't really like / play turn-based RPGs. And then parentheses, plays and loves Pokemon. Okay, stop right there. You're putting words in my mouth. Also, ATB, attack base? Turn-based?
Fuck. Active time battle.
Active time battle is like timed chess. It's turn-based, but if you wait too long, you'll be skipped. Okay, we got to that conclusion.
Yes.
I don't love Pokemon. I like the first Pokemon game and maybe Gold.
There's like always like
and
the exception to the rule. Like, oh, I don't necessarily like RPGs. I liked what I played of Cyberpunk. So there's always like
But that's
the
what
outliers
that
here and
we
there.
talked about that in the episode.
Yeah.
I don't traditionally like RPGs or JRPGs,
Mhm.
but there's some exceptions like Pokemon or some other
Yeah.
RPGs where I'm like, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's what the point we're getting
Yeah.
at. Why am I defending myself? And that was it. That was all the comments from last week. Now we're in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, and I've been ignoring YouTube. We got $2 from Caleb all the way at the beginning of the episode. Hey, Wolf Bros, just want to say I enjoy watching. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We also got Kylie the Gamer Princess. Thanks for being a member on YouTube. And Scott, it brings a tear to my eye. And Scott S, thanks for the $5. Hey guys, can we get a closer look at your jacked up Sonic? Love the podcast.
You mean Sonic?
Hit your one.
Hey, it worked. This guy
That guy
right here, as featured in as a drawing in the movie Sonic the Hedgehog.
Scootish got that for me, I think.
Feels right.
Edward Bova, Bob, apparently Bloomberg knows when we'll be getting the Switch 2 OLED.
I saw a report that said allegedly like Samsung is being enlisted to make the screens for the Switch 2. And allegedly like they're also working on updated processors and possibly an OLED version of it.
Okay.
But like obviously, you know, like the Switch 2, like they wanted to get the Switch 2 out the door in the most efficient way possible, and the OLED would not be that. So we got our baseline Switch, and then like in 2 years we'll get the OLED. Or will we get the Lite first? Do you think they'll do a Switch 2 Lite?
I think I don't know, honestly.
Yeah.
They should do an OLED light that can dock. That's what I think.
Japan, they sold a regular vanilla Switch 2 without a dock.
Yeah.
So
that'd be cool to see
yeah.
as well. Or an OLED without a dock.
Yeah.
That's, you know, it's got the nicer screen. They should do a light for sure, but I don't know. I feel like the light probably did pretty good for them,
yeah.
but not being able to dock it kind of sucks. What I got from that was if they do an OLED model, Samsung would be the first pick. Yeah, I mean, Samsung is the OLED maker right now for like everybody. I think even Steam, like half of them are.
Didn't it used to be LG, or did Samsung buy their OLED making?
Half, I'm pretty sure half of the Steam Deck OLEDs are Samsung.
Okay.
The other half, I think, is some random company.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chris Max says, not necessarily news, but a laugh. Nintendo Today posted this today. What do you think? The first guy forced reaction or paid actor actually made me laugh out loud. I don't know what this. Oh, this guy. What the? Is that an AI guy? That doesn't look real.
Oh, I hate this.
First Nintendo Switch 2 experience, number 4. Poor guys don't know they're being filmed.
Yeah.
Imagine I'm in this.
Oh, God.
Oh, this is cool. It's showing all of the events across the world.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. They probably could have picked better ones for the first two, though.
It's so forced. I honestly don't... I mean, maybe the first guy. I honestly don't think it's... This guy, I think, feels like he has to put one on.
Yeah.
But the other guys, I think they're having a genuine reaction. Honestly, being at the event, everyone was making faces like that.
Yeah.
Everyone was like overwhelmed.
It's like, oh, wow. Yeah.
My local GameStop is actually opening at 11 p.m. for Switch 2 release and letting everyone get it an hour early. Not sure about Best Buy. 11 p.m. for Switch 2 release. That's interesting.
So is that Breaking Street date, or is this just that when they're going to let you in the store?
That is Breaking Street date. I'd imagine that you're not getting it till midnight.
Yeah.
They might let you. I mean, the way that GameStop does it is they let you in, they ring you up, and then you hold your little receipt, and then you go up there at midnight, and you exchange the receipt for the console.
Yeah.
I don't like that method. I mean, that method gets people out quickly, but I don't like it because you now have a receipt
Yeah.
that is worth more than the price of the console because, you know, nobody has the console yet.
Yeah.
So I got it an hour early and played it early. What are you talking about? Switch 2 we're talking about. Oh, they did it for Tears of the Kingdom as well. Where are you where they're doing that?
Yeah.
That sounds like they will be fired soon.
Yeah.
I want to compliment you, Will. You read news articles effortlessly and smoothly, says Snake Eater.
Thank you. I'm trying to be a better person.
Nintendo ushering in a new price point that is giving the other big two the okay to do the same. The numerous bullying lawsuits to small guys. Nintendo is what people hate so much. Is what people hate not so much the Switch 2. Yeah, I don't like any of that stuff either. But
Yeah.
Nintendo was just the first one to blatantly make the game $80. It would be Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. I mean, it's so, like, Alana Pierce talked about it. Like, of all the games, like, that one doesn't have to cost $80 because GTA Online makes so much money.
Yeah.
But by the same token, like, you know, Take-Two could very easily, like, look at it and go, like, we can definitely try.
Yeah. If it wasn't Nintendo, it would be somebody else.
Yeah. But now that it is Nintendo, it's like giving everybody the okay.
Yeah, I don't love that either.
Yeah.
But Will's thoughts on Superman trailer.
I am so in on this. It's not even funny.
It looks
like,
very good.
I said to my friends, like, I kind of need this movie to be good, like, because I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. But like, I have so much. It's gonna be so good. I can't fucking wait for that. And I've been burned before by Superman movies. Like, I had Superman Returns and Man of Steel, and both had good trailers, and then both were bad movies. So
I didn't know they were gonna have like a lot more heroes in it. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Holy Lettuce is a lot like 2 of the locations I have been to for midnight release have done it that way, meaning release the game an hour early. Not sure why. I think they said it was okay because we are an hour behind, and they go off of East Coast time for the rest of the state. That's really bizarre.
Yeah.
What's the lore with this dog? Did it come down with him to Earth? Is it an alien too? It is an alien.
Yes, it's Crypto. It's his dog from Krypton. You know,
but it didn't come with him.
No. It depends. Some stories it comes with him. Some stories he finds him later. Some stories he's locked in the Phantom Zone. So I don't know how they're going to explain it this time around.
I watched the Crypto cartoon as a kid, so I'm so here for it.
Yeah.
Crypto cartoon? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was a Crypto cartoon. So Crypto, the super dog, Crypto.
I do not remember.
It was a catchy theme song. It was after we were like technically older and technically should not have been watching like cartoons clearly aimed at kids. But I fucking watched a couple of those episodes. They were all right. The theme song is catchy.
What else? Oh, it's late. We can.
Yeah, it is.
One last thing I wanted to touch on. Somebody earlier said that Nintendo changed their prediction for how much they were gonna sell.
Well, I think 15 million was like the new estimate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think Samsung was saying they're gonna sell 20 million.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean anything to anybody. Kit Free, thanks for the Prime subscription, and thank you guys for hanging out.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for chatting with us. As always, the Wulff Den podcast is every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/WulffDen and youtube.com/WulffDen podcast. If you can't make the show for any reason at all, we always put the archive version up over on youtube.com/WulffDen podcast. You can go and check us out over there on demand whenever you want. If you prefer to listen to us rather than watch us, then you can do that as well. Of course, we're also an audio podcast on any and every podcast service such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Audible.com. The list goes on. But no matter where you get the show from, folks, please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us because that helps us with placement on all those respective platforms.
I will have a video live about the Switch 2 either Thursday or Friday, probably Friday. That's all I gotta say. I already told you my schedule for the week. I got waiting for my Lenovo Legion Go S with Steam on it. Waiting for some Aya Neo bullshit. I don't know if I'm getting the Ambernic 34XXSP. I haven't heard anything about it. And the Switch 2 will be here before we know it. Bye.
Bye.